All right, so I just want to say a couple of things before we start talking about the poems for today. First, as you probably know, I have gone and assigned grades to your midterm papers, but I haven't given you feedback on them yet. The reason for this is that I had to have midterm grades in by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and I just didn't have time to do the feedback and get the grades in all at the same time. So you will still get feedback on your papers, but I'll get that done over the weekend, right? So you will still know, why you got the grade you got and how you can improve the paper. And you will want that feedback for improvement because you will actually have another chance later in the term to revise either this paper or the poetry paper for a better grade. Now, as far as midterm grades are concerned, by and large, right, most of you are doing fine. Even those of you who are not, if you are in the D and F range right now, in most cases it's because of incomplete work. Right? It's because you either didn't turn in some homework assignments, or I'm still waiting on a paper from you in some cases, right? So the way you rectify that, right, it's too late on the homework, right? That ship has sailed. I don't have time to go back and go over late homework assignments. But, bless you, there are still a lot of points on the table, right? There are a lot of points coming up going forward. So as long as you are coming to class and doing all of the work from this point forward, even if you are not passing the class right now, most of you should still be able to work your way up to a passing grade. And remember that passing in a 1,000 level course is a C, right? You need at least a C to not have to take this class again. So does anybody have any questions about grades or about the papers?
Oh yeah, you mentioned something on mine. Is it writing center? You said something like writing center not updated. You said something like, or did you say that?
Yeah, no, I actually I have already added. If you've gone to the writing center, I have already added those points to your grade. So that's already calculated.
Okay, cool.
Anything else? Okay, then I do want you to start thinking about the next paper, since this is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks, right? The draft for the next paper is going to be due on the 21st of March. The final version of it will be due on the 28th. So you'll have the break to work on this. The assignment is posted in Georgia View for you to look at, but just to briefly go over what I'm looking for you to do, right? I'm looking for you to do something really pretty similar with paper 2 to what you did with paper 1, right? You are making an argument about some feature or set of related features in a single poem. Now, because you're dealing with a much smaller sample of text when you're talking about a poem, this paper doesn't have to be as long, right? I'm looking for 1,500 to 1,800 words here rather than 2,000 to 2,500. So this will be considerably shorter. So what I want you to try to do, first, figure out what the poem is about on a surface level, right? Make sure you understand what is going on in the poem literally before you try to interpret it, right? See if you can first come up with, say, like a brief summary of what happens in the poem, right? And then pick apart the various elements that we've talked about, right? Try not to boil it down to simple emotional responses, which is something we often tend to do, especially with poetry, right? I don't want you, for example, to say that a poem is about love. This is a love poem, right? Okay, great, but who are the two lovers? Are the feelings mutual? Do they both get to talk, or is this just one person talking? What stage of the relationship are they in? and why should I care about any of this, right? Are there any particular arresting images, right, that relate to the love expressed in the poem, that sort of thing. So if you are going to summarize the poem, and you probably should do that in maybe like your second paragraph, then I want you to summarize in order to analyze, right? Lay out what the whole poem looks like for me, and then start into your argument about its specific features. Otherwise, the rules are basically the same. This is going to be due, as I said, the draft on Tuesday the 21st, and you'll be doing peer review on this as well. Right? So you'll bring a copy of your draft to class with you. We'll split up into groups. You'll pass it around. You'll go over it. The final paper will be due on the 28th. And again, the draft is a required part of the process. If you turn in a paper but don't turn in a draft, you only get half credit for the assignment because you only did half the assignment. All right, does anybody have any questions? You will still, by the way, get credit for going to the Writing Center on this, so do that. No, everything's good? Everybody gets it? At least as much as you need to for the moment?
Would it be one of these we just read, or would we have another choice?
Yeah, well, it'll be any of the poems on the syllabus, right? Even if it's a poem that we haven't had time to talk about all of the poems on the syllabus in class. So, if we didn't get a chance to talk about a poem, you can still write about that poem if you want to, as long as it's one of the poems on the syllabus.
Gotcha.
Anything else? Okay. Then here's what I want you to do for next time. We're going to be talking about symbol and imagery in more detail next time, right? So I want you to read the following 3 poems. I want you to read Song by Edmund Waller, One Perfect Rose by Dorothy Parker, and The Sick Rose by William Blake. And what I want you to think about as you read these 3 poems, right? What central image or symbol do all 3 of them share? And does this symbol mean the same thing in each poem, right? What are they all using this particular symbol to mean? So I'll give you a minute to get this down. And then we'll move into today's material. Okay, everybody got it? All right, great. Then let's start today with Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. So if you have the green book, it's on page 550. If you have the red book, it is on page
797.
797. Thank you. So what did you guys think of this poem?
What page did you guys say?
Aunt Jennifer's Tigers on page 550. What'd you think of this?
At first, I didn't know what to think of it. It was kind of confusing to me. I
Okay.
would usually go through and do my own analyzation, and then I look it up
Uh-huh.
just to see if I was anywhere near what I thought it was about.
Okay, well, what did you think it was about when you first read it?
I knew it was a woman but it seemed like she owned tigers, you know, like maybe she was of some wealth